Yeah. What's going on, everybody? How you doing? How you doing? Let me get these glasses off. How you doing? Welcome to another Amazon Live. Hey, Beth Z, howdy. How you doing? Happy Monday. Some of you, let me make sure that I'm live on my other platforms as well, because this is looking a little crazy. I had a little glitch just now. So before I go live, before I fully go into everything, let me make sure that everybody, we are live in the right places. Hang with me a second, people. This is the beauty of live, because you get to kind of check in on stuff. Hold on, let's see what's happening here. All right, nope, let me check one more place. So here's what happened. I unplugged something by mistake during the pre-show. So hold on one second. Stay with me, don't leave me. Technology, hanging, thank you. Let's see what we got. All right, so redirecting to live event. Okay, we are live. Okay, we're live in the right places. Okay, good deal. All right, so let's go. All right, so today, y'all, we are talking about, we're talking about interfaces. Last week, we had the fantastic conversation about microphones. As a matter of fact, we walked through several microphones last week, right? Last week we looked at let me make sure, oops, don't have all my stuff connected right now. Yeah, that thing really knocked me out just now. Hold on. Let me just double check one more thing, because there's another phone. There's another camera that I need to make sure that we are good. Yeah. Ooh, nope. Everything went wonky just now. Okay. All right. Yep, that's working. And let's check one more place. I think we're good to go. All right. So yeah, so last week we walked through, we checked out like a bunch of stuff, right? We checked out microphones, and I shared with you several microphones. I shared with you my Shure MV7 microphone. Actually, let me swap that around so you could see this a little bit better. Right, I shared with you my Shure MV7 microphone. We also looked at, of course, the big guy right here. Yeah, the Shure SM7B. We also looked at the Rode NTG2. That's kind of like the one that's up there. And then we talked a little bit about the Comica microphone here, the wireless lav, the CVM WS50. We talked about all of those microphones. We also walked through a Shure MV5C and a 5-Fiend microphone. You want to check those out. Make sure that you go check us out on the live from last week, right? Don't forget to check those out. But the other thing that we walked through that we didn't really talk about a whole lot was, how do you connect these microphones to your thank you, Beth, love the orange, right? How do you connect these microphones to your systems, right? How do you connect these microphones to your computers, etc.? So we walked through the different types of microphones, but we didn't talk about two of the main things. So one of the big things is that there are USB microphones, and then there are microphones that are not USB, right? Some microphones plug through a 1/4-inch cable into your computer, but the majority of microphones plug into something, use something known as an XLR cable, right? And that's a cable. Let me see if I can find one really quickly. Let me find one really quickly here. All right, this is live stuff, folks. All right. So yeah, I got a bunch of cables in my drawer here. So you guys saw me, of course, digging in my drawer here. But yeah, so microphones, most microphones, or the majority of professional microphones, use something that is known as an XLR cable, right? So the XLR cable is pretty much one of these right here that has the 3 prongs in it, right? So these 3 prongs here, most of your computers don't have these 3 prongs inside of it. So how do you get microphones with these 3 prongs into your computers? Well, you need something known as an audio interface. Now, why do I need that audio interface for these computers? Well, when things started out, it was really because people who were studio musicians, once everything began to become digital, and you no longer needed an ADAT, or you no longer needed all of those crazy machines, right? You needed to get music into your computer. So they needed to figure out how to get the music into the computer and the audio from the microphones into the computer. So they started to use what are called audio interfaces. Now, of course, after that, we started to talk a little bit more about, we started to use audio interfaces for computers, regular computers, consumer computers, because audio interfaces, or because music production became a lot more localized, right? So what we're going to do tonight, is just kind of walk you through some of the basics of an audio interface. Do you need one? Absolutely. The quick answer is no. No, you don't. You don't absolutely need an audio interface. Okay. However, if you do have a microphone that is XLR, you do need an audio interface. Okay. And why do you need XLR? Yeah, it depends on the quality, right? What I have here is a studio microphone that is XLR. Okay. And these are the Shure SM7Bs, and these are higher end microphones. Does everybody need one? Absolutely no, but it's a nice to have. Okay. All right. So here's the deal. So let's walk through some of these things here. So what I'm going to do is I am going to, let's see if I can, are we playing on Amazon? Let me make sure. Yeah, give me a second here. Just trying to walk through something. Give me a second, people. All right. So here's the deal. All right. So let's walk through some of these microphones. Let me sign in so that we know what we're up to here. Okay. Good deal. Okay. Perfect. All right. So let's start walking through this stuff. All right. Good deal. So the first thing that I want to share with you, I kind of want to walk you, I'm going to take you through a couple of interfaces that I've got here. So the first one that I've got is, and I like these, and I'm going to show you the one that I'm using now most currently in just a few minutes. But so this microphone, so if you remember, I showed you just now the audio cable, which is sitting here. Okay. So if you remember, I showed you this 3-prong audio cable, right? If you notice this this interface has something that allows that to fit right in. Now, I want you to notice something else though. There is a hole right in the middle where a 1/4-inch plug, which is one of these, right? This is a 1/4-inch plug. The 1/4-inch plugs can go right into that too, right? So this right here is the Focusrite Scarlet. Let me see if I can get this higher. 2i2. Why is that not focusing? All right, let's get that focused. Let's get it focused. Come on, focus. All right, it's not focusing. All right, don't worry about it. All right, so it's a Scarlet 2i2, and what that pretty much means is that it's got 2 microphone inputs. You know, I can control the gain of the microphone here. If you look here, if you are familiar with, professional microphones as well, you know that sometimes they need something called phantom power, which is 48 volts. So there's a button here that I can press to make it get phantom power. You know, I can monitor, and then of course I can put my headphones in here, right? So this is also powered by USB-C. If you can see that, and then I've got outputs, 2 outputs on the back of this. So this is the Focusrite 2i2, and it's a 2-channel audio mixer or to audio interface, which again takes the information, the audio information from my microphone or from any instruments that I have. So if I have a microphone, I'm probably going to be using this connector. If I've got something like a guitar, right, I am probably going to be using this 1/4-inch jack to plug my guitar into my computer, right? So this is, you know, pretty simple simple device, you know, and you don't need to know a whole lot about them. The issue, what you need to know is that you've got the XLR inputs, and chances are if you have XLR inputs, you have something built in known as a microphone preamp. And that is something that boosts the signal. So professional microphones need a signal boost, and that is built into this. So if you just plug it into a regular mixing board that doesn't have a preamp, you're going to get a very low signal. Okay, so you'll need something else to boost the signal. And when you're looking for interfaces, you want to make sure that they have the word preamp in them. So if I go over to, let me see if I can pull up the 2i2 on my iPad here. So, oops, wrong device. Let's see. Oh my, there we go. That's what we're looking for. Okay. So if we try to pull up the 2i2 on here, if I look for, you see these words here, right? Let me see if I can, this is not going to circle it for me. Nope. All right. So if you look at this right here, where it says mic pre's, that means mic preamps. Again, that is something that allows the signal to be boosted. So if you're looking for an audio interface, you want to make sure that it has a mic preamp if you've got the professional microphones. All right. So two of the best performing mic preamps in Scarlet range has ever seen. Blah, blah, blah. Switchable air mode. You know, you don't need all of that. If you're a musician and you want to use like Pro Tools or those types of things, great. The majority of people, we don't care about that because we're just really trying to get a good sounding microphone to do our podcast, and we're just trying to get it on to do like our live videos, etc. Right? So that's the Focusrite 2i2. So for those of you that are on, do me a favor. Beth Z says this is the info that I needed. Thank you, Beth. All right, good deal, good deal. So for those of you that are on, first of all, right here, where is it? Nope. First of all, right here, go ahead and follow. Make sure you follow the channel, and I'll see y'all next time we do this. All right. So the next one that I've got here. So if you see, I've got two interfaces here. So you've got a smaller one and the larger one, right? So this is the 2i2, which again has the two inner inputs for the XLR cables, and also the 1/4 inch cables can go there. That's the 2i2. This one, you're like, dude, that looks pretty much the same. What's the difference there? Well, that is the 2i2, which has those two inputs, but this one is the 4i4, which on the front looks pretty much the same, right? Looks pretty much the same on the front with the exception of a few buttons. But you're like, dude, why is it a little bit wider? Well, that one, if I turn this one over, has some more stuff happening in the back. So it's got some more line inputs and more line outputs. And it's also, if I'm a musician and I want to add MIDI into this, I can add MIDI. So what does this even do? So if I've got two, I can add, so let's say I have a podcast and I've got two people using two separate microphones. I can add that. I can add those both in here, right? And then if I decide that I want to have an instrument or something else added, you know, somebody singing or whatever, I can add those instruments here, right? So I can add up to 4 things inside of this one. The difference, again, between these and these is that these ones on the front have what we call the preamps, right? These are the XLR that are the preamplifiers, which again boost the signal. If I'm plugging a guitar or some instrument into the back, I don't need the signal boosted. Okay, so because that's a direct line, it's not a microphone. Okay, so that's the difference between these two. So let's look at the pricing difference between these two. So if we look at the first one, right? Oops. Stuff is jumping around all over the place. Okay, so let's look at the, whoops. That stuff is going crazy tonight. Hold on one second. Let's go, people. Give me a second here. I want to make sure you get to see this, but my things are going willy-nilly tonight. I think there's a ghost in the machine. There's a ghost in the machine. Hold on one second. Let's make sure that you got this. All right, come on. Nope. Nope. Give me 1 second. Let's make sure that we. All right, I'll go old school with this in a few moments if this doesn't work. Give me 1 second. I'm just gonna make a quick disconnect. I'll be right back. All right, here we go. I think we got what we need. Okay, there we go. Perfect. Okay, so the 2i2, the 2i2 is 169, right? But if we look at the 4i4, that 4i4 is 239. Okay, and if you order it right now, you can have yours by 4 a.m. in the morning. All right. So, hey, for those of you that are on with me, just go ahead and type your message in the chat so that I can see you. I want to know that you're there. I want to know that you're hanging out. I want to have conversations with you, right? So this 4i4 is 239. And again, here's the message, the word that you want to be looking for: mic pre's, microphone preamps. Okay. So there are two of those. There are two of those inside this. And if we look at the message, or we look at what I was just showing you, you can see the two microphones on the front, and then you can see the 4 inputs, or the two additional line inputs on the back, as I mentioned, right? And then if we wanted to send these to like a bunch of different speakers in different rooms, etc., we could do that. So, you know, pretty neat setup, pretty nice, pretty nice deal there. All right. So that's the Focusrite Scarlet 2i2 and 4i4. Now, there are a lot of other microphone audio or audio interfaces out there, but I'm really just kind of sharing with you the ones that I've used. I've used some in the past. I don't have them here with me, but I've used the DigiDesign audio interfaces for Pro Tools, etc. All right, Beth was like, I need a new mic. Yeah, so I've used the DigiDesign Pro Tools stuff, but these are the ones pretty much that I've been using recently. Now, you're looking at these and you're like, dude, you've got two audio interfaces plugged out on your desktop. Why do you have two audio interfaces plugged out on your desktop? Well, because I'm not using them right now. And here's the reason why I'm not using them. I'm not using them because at the beginning of the show, I showed you 3 microphones, 2 of which I use currently, but recently, oh, I know, I've actually shown you all 3 of them. I showed you the NTG2 microphone that's up here. I also showed you the SMB SM7B, and I also showed you the Comica, right? So here's why. Let's talk about the use case for a second here. So I use this Comica wireless, right? I plug a wireless lavalier microphone into this, and I use this in case I'm walking around my setup here. You know, let's say that I want to go to the back and talk by the screen, or I want to do something, you know, by the bookcase or whatever. Sometimes I'm walking around and I don't want this microphone in front of me. I want a microphone that's clipped right to me or right on top of me. So I use this wireless microphone. Now, I should probably put those microphones in the chat there. But I use another audio interface now, because it allows me to plug multiple microphones, XLR or otherwise, into the front, and it also has the preamps that I need. So let's see how close I can get here. But let's see what we can do here. Right? So this one that I'm using here is called, let's see if, does this make a difference? Okay. Yeah. This one that I'm using here is called the, it's a Behringer Euphoria UMC 404. Now this is 4 preamps inside of this, right? You can see the 4 XLR type plugs there, and I've got some cables there. You can kind of see I've got 2 microphones plugged in there, and I've got a 3rd microphone plugged in with a 1/4 inch, and you can kind of see that other piece of the Comica microphone underneath there, right? So as I'm talking into this microphone, you can kind of see the lights lighting up. Let me actually get in a little bit closer so that you can kind of see the buttons that are on there. So, you know, what's the difference between line? What's the difference between line and instrument? Well, the instrument is if I plug in like a guitar into it. It's not focusing so you can see it properly. All right, there we go. All right, so you've got line and instrument in there. If I have it up, that means I'm using like the XLR line. But if I press that button down on the left, that means I've got a guitar or an instrument directly plugged in inside of it. So if you remember earlier when I talked about the difference in signal between the XLR microphones and like a line signal, like or an input instrument signal, like a guitar, electric guitar or acoustic electric. If you remember when I was talking about that, I said those don't really need the preamps in order for them to sound good. So those buttons kind of allow you to select what type of instrument or what type of input you have going into those audio interfaces. Okay, so if I were to look at, let's see, if I were to look at the Euphoria here. Now, before I got this, I talked to some people about it, and they were kind of like, you know, they felt like it sounded noisy, or they didn't like the noise floor on this. And, you know, to be honest with you, if I were a recording musician, if I were a recording musician, I might be a bit more discerning right now, but I'm not. So come on, let's get out of here. But I'm not. So I'm okay with how this sounds, right? So if you look at this, again, you can see what I was showing you before, the gain, you know, if it's clipping, if it's going too high, the red light will come on. The green light signals you're getting signal inside of it. You've got the line and the instrument. You've also got main outs there. All right, you got a main out mix, and then you can also, oops, why is everything tripping out on me today? Hold on. Okay, and then you've got a, my gosh, everything's just jumping around on me today. What's going on here? Hold on. Let's see, there's that. My. Let's see if we can go back. Okay. And then you've got a headset or a headphone option there. And then if you look below that yellow, you can see the that 48 volt thing, which is again that blah 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 blah, that phantom power if you need it, right? And this interface, if I turn around the back, it also has those MIDI inputs as well, and it's got 192 kilohertz USB audio. You know, it plugs in via USB, so you know it sounds pretty good to me. I mean, I'm no producer. Let me kind of turn the back if I can see the back here, right? So if I look at the back, you see that it's got the MIDI there, right? And then it's got outputs, phantom controllers on the back there, and then I've got my main outputs. And if I want to add effects to it, then I can add that through the inserts there. So, you know, fairly straightforward. And again, so far, I've been using this one for just a few weeks, and I like it. I like it. I can't complain. Actually, it's not even a few weeks. It's maybe been a week and a half, and I like it. So, you know, I just got to kind of get my cabling right here. Okay, that's a, you know, USB hub that's hooked up underneath my desk here. All right, but I really like what it's doing so far here. Yeah, so I don't know if you've got thoughts, if you've got questions, absolutely let me know. Those are the interfaces that I wanted to share with you tonight. I won't stay on much longer here, but I just wanted to go through these audio interfaces so that you can get a better understanding of what audio interfaces are and what they do and how they work, and you know, maybe what you might need to be considering if you are considering upgrading your set, your audio, right? So I'll just recap really quickly. There is, of course, the Focusrite Scarlet 2i2, 2 preamps inside it. These are convertible inputs as well, so you can use 1/4 inch inside of them. Like you can plug instruments in. So let's say you wanted to put one instrument and one microphone, you could do that. All right. And it's only got these 2 inputs. On the back, you just have the 2 outputs. And then you've got the Scarlet 4i4, which has 2 preamps as well and 2 microphone style inputs on the front. And then on the back, you can add 2 more inputs, and you've got 4 outputs if you want to send it to like 4 different locations or 2 separate stereo locations. And then you've got MIDI input and output if you wanted to connect these to like a keyboard or a MIDI controller of some sort. All right. So there's that. And then finally, we've got the Behringer Euphoria UMC 404, which is the one that I'm using currently because it has those 4 outputs. All right. So good to see some of y'all online tonight. yeah, let's see what else people are saying. Okay. All right. Yeah. So I'm not getting a lot of talking tonight, but that's okay. Good to see y'all. Thanks so much for hanging out with me tonight. So yeah, so those are my thoughts around audio interfaces and what I use them for and how I use them. And if you have any questions about them, again, that's the interfaces really are for the purpose of instruments or microphones that are XLR based. If you're using a microphone like the, let's see this. If you're using a microphone like the Shure MV7, which I don't know that I have in my I don't know that I have it in my cart. So if I don't, let me go ahead and put that in there so that you can kind of check it out. Right? So let's do this. Let's add the Shure MV7 because I talked about it tonight. Let's see. Oh, it's in there already. All right. So the other one that I talked about was the Shure MV5C. All right. And yep. So I put that there. And then the other one that we talked about was the Rode NTG. Oops. Nothing right now, right? The Rode NTG2 is the other microphone that we talked a little bit about tonight. All right, so all right. Good deal. All right. So yeah, people, that's what we got. That's what we have going on tonight. If you have any other thoughts or any other questions, just be sure to ask those so that I can answer them over the next few minutes that I'm on here. If you don't have any questions, then let me see. What can we play a game or something? I don't have any games tonight. I'm not prepared. So those of you that are on Twitch or on Facebook or on YouTube, do me a favor. If you want to get into the game here, if you want to be a part of the event, come on over to Amazon. Let's see. So you can go to rk3tv.live/Amazon, and that's where we are. So let's see if everything's going. Okay, yeah, it is going live. Okay, cool. All right. Yeah, so those are the big deals. Those are the things that we are up to. That's what we're doing tonight. And I'm about to get off of here, but I just wanted to walk through, especially as a follow-up for last week where we talked about microphones. Just wanted to walk through what the audio interface setup looks like. All right, so that's pretty much it. That's all I got for tonight. I'll see you next week, Monday at 8 p.m. All right, see ya. Peace. Let's see, is that the song? Nope, that's not the one that I want. That's not the song that I want to end with. Nope. Oh, I wanted to end with Block Party. Here we go. All right. See y'all next week, Monday at 8 p.m. Peace.